thinking about the brevity of life, it bubbles up for me a question that I think is so important for us to answer as writers, and that is for each of us individually to define, what does success look like for us? And even just that word success, it can feel so heavy and weighted, and it can feel like this goal up on a mountain that we are like striving towards and never quite getting there. But I love this question because it forces me to stop listening to all the noise about what success means for other authors, for other people, for other entrepreneurs. And it forces me to really get quiet and listen to my heart. What does success look like for me? And as many of you have been following me over the last few years, and you probably can tell from the books I've been writing, my journey has been one of learning to be a spiritual director, of returning to childlike faith, of learning to live more open-handedly, a listening life. And so when I think about that question, what does success mean for me? I'm going to share some of my thoughts. But my encouragement to you is not to take even my thoughts as your own definition of success, but to take my thoughts as perhaps sparks or catalysts for you to think about this question. I think it's very tempting to think about success in terms of how many books we sell, how much money we make, and those are wonderful goals and things, but we cannot control them. And so what I have found to be the most life-giving in the last few years is to define success by who I want to be, how I want to show up, both all the areas of my life and creatively, and to think about my books in terms of things that I can control. And so for me, as I journal around what does success look like to me, it is being able to take ideas, to take Holy Spirit nudgings, to take pictures in my brain, stories that have happened, and to excavate them out of this interior world, to put them on paper, and then to share them with others. Whether that sharing is in a blog, in an email, in a video, in a book. I love books because it's such a powerful way to collect thoughts on a theme for a specific audience, for a specific purpose. And that's why writing the book that just came out this week, Write Like a Child, was so life transforming, because it forced me to notice what God was saying to me about returning to childlike faith, returning to trust. And so when I think about what success means, to me, success is continuing to show up to the page, continuing to share my words with the world, and then to live open-handedly, trusting those things to God, regardless of how many people they impact, because I have felt the agony of an untold story inside, which is a Maya Angelou quote. And I really believe that we have stories, ideas inside that can make such a powerful impact when we share them with those around us. And just as an example of that, with the Write Like a Child book, as I got closer to the launch, I had grand ideas about ways to promote it and things I wanted to do this week. And then, as many of you know, as writers, life happens, and we take our goals, our dreams of like, ooh, I want to do all these things, and we realize, okay, life just happened. I just lost someone close to me. So the bandwidth for this is not there in any way, shape, or form. And so my Momentum Mastermind saw this firsthand, where I decided, you know what, with all that's happening, I'm going to let this go, all these grand plans, and this week, my one mini goal is just to send a single email. And so I did send my single email, and then after the fact, realized that I didn't even mention my book. But despite that, the book has been selling copies, and again, my success is getting it out there, hitting publish. And I know that I can impact how many people buy by my marketing, by my author platform, but I don't obsess over those things as the be all end all of whether I'm successful or not. To me, success is being faithful. Faithful with the idea, faithful to take the next small step, however imperfectly that may be. And yesterday, I received this note from someone who read my book, The Write Like a Child, and they wrote, "Reading Write Like a Child, you have hit it out of the park. It will get reread many, many times. It speaks to the many hurts in my heart." And success to me is when an idea or a story or an email can even positively impact one person. That is such a gift. And even if it impacted no people, but I'm still being faithful, that would still be success. So I wanted to share a little bit of my imperfect week, of the humanness of this week, the loss of this week, and to just remind you that you get to decide what success is to you. And you may even want to bring that question to the Write With Us retreat for one of the sessions, just to journal around for 5-10 minutes, see what bubbles up. Because sometimes as we age and we go through life, the answer to that question may even change. So in this season that I am in, where God is teaching me to become more childlike, more trusting, more playful, more curious, more comfortable with the mess and the imperfections. If I had to give one word to share what success means to me in this season, it's faithfulness, and that is both receiving God's faithfulness to me in the midst of imperfection in life, and it's also me being faithful with taking my next small step. So often I am like the boy with the loaves and the fish, and as artists and creatives, sometimes we see the crowds, we see the possibilities, and what we bring can feel small and not quite enough. We can have our inner critic inside telling us it's not enough, you need to know more, what are you talking about? But I love that the way that boy just came with what he had and gave it to Jesus. So that is my encouragement to you this week. Think about what success is to you, and think about what it would look like this week to write like a child, to come with where you are, how you are, with what you have, even if it feels like little or nothing, and to be with Jesus. Okay, my friends, stay curious and keep writing, because your words